Alright, so this is going to be another first for me. We're going to be replacing the screen on this MacBook Air. This is an M2 MacBook Air, I believe, model A2681. Alright, so first things first, let's go ahead and open up the replacement screen and see if everything looks good. So we're going to cut this open. Sorry, I'm going to go off camera because it has like some labels on there that... Let's see here. Go. I mean, everybody knows my address now, but let's get this open. Okay, so it comes with some tools here. I don't know if we'll need them, we'll see. But here's what it comes with. Alright, depending who you buy it from, might come with different stuff. It comes with some screwdriver bits. There's a T3, there's a T8. There's a Pentalobe 1.2, which is these screws. There's a T5 or Torx 5, and there's a Pentalobe 0.8. Right, I'm gonna just put these back in there. I usually use my own screwdrivers. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this stuff out of here. Got a bunch of bubble wrap. Let's get the screen out. This. Okay. Alright, and we'll get this out now. There's that. Okay. So take a look. So you can see the screen has this, the hinges, and then this connector. And that's pretty much all there is in this screen. Let's go ahead and separate this piece here. I'm doing this before we're even opening the MacBook, so okay. And we're holding down that as we peel this up. Don't push too hard, you don't want to damage the screen, but I want to get this piece off. Okay, so this, oh man, whatever adhesive they use, it's like stuck to the screen. That's not nice. Why would they do that? Look at that. That's not nice. Is it possible to get this off? Okay, I guess we can. It's kind of leaving some residue. Why would they put such a strong adhesive on there? That's not good. Okay, gotta kind of clean up the adhesive residue. So I'm using this sticker to stick it onto the old, or the residue that's stuck, and peeling it up, and it looks like it's coming off. So yeah, for the most part. There's some little bits that's kind of stuck, but maybe we can use isopropyl alcohol if it won't come out completely. Okay. Alright, I think we got pretty much all of it out. Alright, so first thing, you want to make sure these hinges are open all the way. When we go to replace it, you'll see why. Alright, so we're going to be using a what do you call this? Pentalobe 1.2 or P5 screwdriver. And we're going to remove all the 4 screws on the bottom here. Okay, keep the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. The way you do that, put them flat side down like that on your desk in the pattern where you remove them. Alright, you want to keep them in that order because sometimes they are different size, shape, and lengths, and even though they look the same, they might be slightly different, and you can cause damage to your computer if you put the wrong screw in the wrong place. Okay, so get that one and this one. Alright, so I can already see there's a difference here. I think a lot of people don't really take note of this, but the screws towards the opening of the MacBook, as you can see, it has like a very thin, like flat part. And then the screws towards the back where the hinges are, you can see it has a much longer flat portion. Okay, so we're gonna just put those down and then we'll go ahead and open this thing up. So there's those. Okay, we got those 4 screws. So with this, it would help to use like a suction cup. So I rotated it, the opening is here. We're gonna go ahead and use the suction cup here, and we're gonna pull on this, and you can see it forms a little gap. Once you get that gap, you can get your fingernail or a pry tool in there, we're going to get in and we're going to go around, and like the other MacBook Pros, I'm going to push down with my thumb on the keyboard layer and then pull up with my other fingers on this bottom cover layer. Okay, so just pull up like this, working our way down towards the back. All right, just like that. And then we're going to go over here to the front and continue working our way down, and same thing, pull up the clips here. Okay, all right. Once you get all the clips up, there are like some slide-on clips back here. So what you do is I go here, I get my fingers in, grab like that, and then I'll push with my finger here. I'll keep my fingers wrapped over so it doesn't fall over, and we'll just pull this down just like that. Go over to the other side, same thing, and pull that down. And there we go. So we got the bottom cover off just like that. This is what it looks like, okay? And these are the little things that kind of hook in there. They hook in onto these screws. All right, I think I have a customer here, so give me a second, I'll be back, but let's go ahead and disconnect the battery connector first. It's right here. Let's go ahead and, actually, I'll get a thumbnail there. Let's go ahead and zoom in here so I can show you this, okay? I believe it's a T3 or Torx 3 screwdriver that we're gonna have to switch to. So let's go ahead and switch over to that, okay? Let me make sure the right one. Okay, so T3 or Torx 3 screwdriver, we're going to remove those two screws. Okay, once I remove the battery, then we're going to go ahead and pause because I have a customer outside, I believe. All right, so there's this little metal plate here, so you can see we can kind of like get this out. There are little like kind of, not really hooks, but it kind of just sits on there, okay? And it goes in front of it, so just like that. So if you're trying to get it out and you can't, you might have to slide it downwards a little bit to be able to get that easier. So there we go, we'll get that, and then here's the battery connector. It's hard for me to see this, but yeah, let's see, how do we get that? I think it's just a lift up. Yep, so it's just one of those kind of press down connections. So there we go. Next thing you want to do, open up the MacBook and then press and hold the power button for about 15 seconds to drain any residual power, right? This makes it a lot safer to work on, all right? Only takes 15 seconds or so. You can hold it for 20 seconds if you want to be extra safe. But I always do this to drain capacitors and everything to make it a lot safer to work on. Excuse me. All right, so there we go. Close this up. And yeah, let me respond to my customer real quick, and then we'll be back. Oh, there's some like, sorry, I was trying to pick that little fur thing off that's stuck there. All right, it doesn't want to come out. There we go. All right, so give me a second. I'll be back. See you guys in a bit. All right, I'm back. Let's actually zoom out a little bit more. I'm probably gonna have to keep lifting this up to get a closer look myself because it's hard to see from that far away. All right, let's get this stuff cleaned up. There's some like dust and fur on it, so we're just gonna kind of see if we can brush these away. Okay, next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to remove the little hinge covers. Let's see, are they all T3s here? Yep, okay, so we're gonna remove these screws here. Again, keep all this stuff in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. Let's see, can we lift this? This thing is a little bit tricky to remove, it seems. All right, I'm trying to lift this up, and then as you lift it, you might have to use something to help pull it out. Okay, so we can see this is lifting. Actually, we might have to remove the speakers first, so let's get that back in, and let's take a look at what else is over here. So we got all these T5 screws here. Okay, actually, will that remove? I think there might be a screw underneath. Let's go ahead and remove this one as well. We'll find out. Again, this is the first time I'm working on this model, so I'm figuring it out as I go. We got a T5 or Torx 5 screwdriver. Let's go ahead and remove these screws back here. Okay, oh, is this one different? Seriously? Why is one T5? Are the rest T3s? Oh, nope, this is T5. Seriously, Apple? What is that? Is this also a T3? Nope, this one's right. Okay, so what is going on with that last screw? That's so weird. Is this actually a T3? Or is my screwdriver just not fitting? Let's try a T4 first. Apple's doing some weird stuff. This one's a T4. Okay, that's kind of strange. Alright, and then we got all these little screws here for these pieces. We're going to remove those as well. Let's see, do we need to remove that? Probably not. Okay, so we're going to switch back over to the T3 or Torx 3 screwdriver. Sorry, let me zoom in here. So we got this little piece here. Okay, we'll remove those two screws. So remove those two. Okay, now that we got those two out, we're going to lift this up and get this little metal plate out. Set that aside. And that has a little ribbon cable we're going to have to pry up later. Let's go ahead and remove these. So this has like the LCD LVDS connectors here. So we're going to remove these as well. That one and this one. Okay. Then we'll remove this metal plate. Let's see, actually, I think there's stuff underneath here. So there's this little rubber adhesive-y thing. Yeah, there's one screw under there. So we're gonna have to undo that screw. Okay, so 3 screws for that one. One is covered by this. So we'll get that, set that aside. Okay, then you got 3 little connectors there we're gonna have to pull out. Let's go ahead and remove these as well. Oh, is that using, that's using T2, Torx, not T2, Pentalobe 0.8 or P2. Okay, so we're gonna remove those. These are basically the same screwdriver that you use for iPhones. Okay. Oh, that's different actually. So these are, the ones towards the back are P2 or Pentalobe 0.8. And then it looks like the ones down here are T3. Okay, so Apple's trying to switch stuff up to make you end up breaking things. So be very careful. Okay, there's a T3, Torx 3 screw here. And here. Alright, so now that we got those 4 screws out, we're going to remove this little metal plate. Okay, oh, so remove that metal plate. And we'll set that aside. There's this wobbly stuff here. Huh, interesting. Alright, so we got this connector here. So actually it's 2 pieces, I think. So that one and this one. And oh, there's this plastic piece that came up. So this piece kind of just sits here, it looks like, and helps. Let me see. Go back in place, please. So this piece goes underneath and it sits here. Okay, so this plastic piece actually goes underneath this thing. Make sure that you put that back as well. Alright, and here you can see we have the LCD cable out. So this person must have some cats or dogs with some light colored fur, because we're getting lots of this light colored fur coming out of this computer. Alright, what else? We got to remove this, most likely with the T3, Torx 3. Okay. Move those 2. Okay, we'll take this bracket out. And you got wireless antennas under here. We're going to have to remove those later with a small little pick tool. Alright, then we got these screws here. Okay, and this one. Alright, then we can remove this metal plate as well. So all these metal plates, they kind of just go like, they have these little hooks that kind of hang over it. And then it's like half, it's not like the full circle. If you look at it, it's not the full cutout circle. So that's kind of interesting. Alright, so these are, I guess, the speaker connectors. So you can use your fingernails or a little tool. But you can see I can pry up the little connector with my fingernail. Same thing with this one over here. Okay, pry that up, good. Alright, and what else do we got? So those are still held in place. Do I need to remove the connectors on the side here? Hopefully not. All right. Anyways, we got the wireless antennas here. Oh, I'm getting customers still messaging. So underneath, you go at the tail, and then you just pull up. You can use whatever. You can use the corner of this tool, and then you can go from the tail and just pull straight up. And same thing over here. Let's see if we can get under. Oh, we probably need to use the pointy end because there's no room. So get under there and go from the tail and then go straight up. Also, this antenna has these two little things that have screws go through it. So make sure when you put this back that those do line up with the screw hole mounts. Okay, you can see this is kind of lifting but not completely. So I'm pretty sure there's a screw under the hinge corners here. So we're gonna have to remove those. Yeah. Okay, so give me a second. Let me respond to my customer again, and I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Let's see if we can get these out. So these little hinge covers can be a little tricky. I'm going to switch over to the T5 Torx 5 because it's a little more durable. And let's see if we can get this out. So I can use this to kind of lift it slightly, and then hopefully we can wedge it out. Let me see if I can show you this. Okay, so we got that. I'm going to get this screw in here, and you can see we can lift this up. Or actually, maybe you can't. So it goes down like that. When you get the screw in, you see we can lift it up, and then hopefully we can slide this over. It might take two tools, one on each side, but let's see. We'll just slide this side first, then we'll lift this, and then slide this side, hopefully. Okay, and there we go. Okay, and you want to be very careful with this, slow and gentle. Wiggle this, and there we go. So that's this piece. Looks like that. We'll set that aside. We'll do the same thing over here. Okay, so we'll start over on this side, pull it up a little, slide that over past the screw, go over to this side, same thing, get the screw in, wedge it over, and then pull this out. Okay, oh, it's being a little tricky here. You might have to wiggle it a little back and forth like that, and there we go. All right, so there we go. We got the second one out. Okay, so there's a little connector and stuff over here that we gotta be careful with. Let me see. My head's probably gonna get in the way, so but I think we gotta peel this up a little. Give me a second. I'm gonna take a closer look, and I'll be back. All right, so I checked, and I believe it's supposed to be a T2 or Torx 2 screwdriver. But I tried mine and it doesn't work, so I don't know what's going on. Let me see. I'll try and get a good grip there and see if I can get that screw out. Yeah, I don't know. This, is it coming out? No. Yeah, I don't know. This screwdriver, it's not seeming to work. That's a T2, Torx 2, and doesn't seem to want to come out. So I don't know, because if I can't get that out, I'm not going to be able to finish working on this, because that holds this little Hall effect sensor on there, and if we can't get that out and transfer that over, then pretty much the computer's not going to do anything. Let me try with a small, like, flathead, but I doubt. No, I don't think we're going to be able to do anything with that. So I'm not too sure what we're going to do now, since the T2 Torx 2 screwdriver is not working, because it's very important that we get that screw out. Let me try and put a little more pressure. And yeah, that screw doesn't want to move at all. So I don't know what to do there. Seems like that screw might be stripped or something. So I'm gonna have to see, I don't know. I'll see if my partner has a T2 or Torx 2 screw, and then I'll see if I can remove it with his screwdriver, because maybe mine's just not working. So yeah, I'll be back. I'll see you guys once I figure this out. All right, bye for now. All right, that screw really doesn't want to come out. I tried another T2 screwdriver and still nothing. So what we're gonna try, let's see if we can somehow do this with a rubber band. I kind of doubt it. Also, this rubber band is really thick. So let's see, I'm gonna try and move this little cabling out of the way a little bit. So it's held in with some adhesive down here. I'm just gonna try and pull it out of the way a tiny bit, so I have a little more room to work on it. There we go. Okay, we'll move that over to the side. And let's see if we can somehow do this with a rubber band. I'm gonna try a piece of tape if this doesn't work, because I'm pretty sure this isn't going to work. especially with how small this screw is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not going to do anything. Yep, nope, all that did was just poke a hole in the rubber band. Okay, so I'm going to try and put like a piece of tape or something in there. I'm going to use some double-sided tape, and we'll see if we can somehow get that. But this isn't looking good. I'm thinking it's going to be impossible to repair this one at this rate. Because if we try, we're going to lose the, what do you call, the sleep functionality. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to cut a small piece of double-sided tape here. Oops. Lost that tape. Yeah, I doubt this is going to help, but we'll see. I need some tweezers to just place this tiny piece of double-sided tape. Okay, right over the screw. In place. Then peel off the backing. And if that doesn't work, we're going to try a screw extractor, but I doubt that's going to work as well. Okay. Yep, nope, that doesn't grip at all. Okay, so I'm going to try screw extractor. Let's see. I don't think I have one that's that tiny, so I don't know, but I'll use the smallest one we got. Screw extractor. And we'll see. Okay. Alright, so drill needs to go in reverse. Okay, so we're going to try and extract this tiny screw here. Oh, that might actually be working. Did it? It lifted it up a little bit, it looks like. Can I? Oh, I was able to get the screw out now. Okay, there we go. So I had to use a micro screw extractor. And now we have this little screw here. I'm gonna have to see if I even have a screw to replace this with, because that thing is tiny. Okay, let me see if I have a replacement screw, because if I don't know how we're gonna seat that back down. Probably not in this box. Let's try in the Mac, iPhone, whatever screws box. And I need to find a screw that will fit before I can get this. So that's super tiny and super short. Maybe with one of these. And this is a T3. I believe it's a T3 screw, and that holds the little hinge covers from like a 2017 MacBook. So let me see if that screw will fit, because if that fits, then we should be good, and then we don't have to be switching around the screws. The only thing is the head of that screw is bigger. You see that? So let me see if that's going to interfere in any way. So we have this. We're going to get the T3, and let's see if we can get that back in. And this screw, it's a little tricky. Get that in, line it up, and definitely the screw fits. Okay, and it looks like that will work. So we're going to replace it with that. We're going to toss this stupid screw that Apple's trying to screw people over with. All right, and let's go ahead and remove this T3 screw, and then we're going to have to put that adhesive thing back down, but we'll get this screw out. Okay, there we go. Set that aside, and now you have this piece. You can see this comes apart, and that's important because this is the Hall effect sensor. So if that has any issues, basically the screen will either think it's closed or open when it's not, and it won't go to sleep properly. So very important that we get that thing working right. Okay, the replacement screen does say there's a little magnet on here, and they say something about changing the screw, but I don't see how you can rotate the screw on that. So I don't know, maybe they mean the screw that's holding this. I don't know. All right, we're gonna go back to using the T5 or Torx 5 screwdriver. We got another screw over here that was underneath. As mentioned earlier, they did hide a T5 screw underneath the little hinge covers, right, on both sides. So remove both of those, that one there as well. Okay, let's zoom out. Okay, now let's see if we can remove the speakers and everything. I think we should be good. So let's see, you see this is all wobbly now, okay? So now we can lift this speaker and wireless antenna assembly. Again, hopefully you disconnected that so you don't damage it. Right, we'll set that aside, and then we got the other one. Be careful because speakers do have magnets in it. You don't want the magnet to accidentally like pick up one of the screws and then you won't know where it went. All right, so there we go. Next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna open the MacBook about, well, completely, and I'm gonna hang it over the edge of my desk. All right, so let's get this, zoom out here. Now you're gonna see junk all over my desk, but we'll do that. All right, so we're gonna switch over to a T8 or Torx 8 screwdriver bit, and then we're gonna remove the hinge screws. Okay, so we'll remove all these screws here. They're not very magnetic too, so Apple's like doing stuff to make this harder to work on. Very annoying. Okay, so we got another one here. I'm pretty sure they designed this so that people break it on accident. Okay, and when we remove the screen, you want to be careful because this little cable is over there. It's very fragile, okay, so you gotta be careful. All right, now that we got that, we're gonna lift this side first, kind of just swing it over, and we're gonna then get this side out, okay, and there we go. So we got this old broken screen out. I don't know if you can see the crack in it. The fingerprints are probably making it hard to see, but you can actually see there's a crack in the glass there. Okay, we're gonna set that old broken screen aside, and we're gonna get a new one. So this is the new replacement screen. All right, and this actually comes with a metal bracket attached to it, so with the plastic piece. So it looks like you don't actually have to remove the screws with that holding this plastic piece because it seems like it'll come out with the whole screen. So if you want to make your life a little bit easier, if your screen comes with that, then yeah, you don't have to worry about removing it. There's a lot of like dust in the little thing here, so I'm just cleaning that out. Now's the perfect time for that. Okay, we're gonna get this back in. You want to be very careful again putting this hinge in because you don't want to smash this cable, and then also make sure that this cable is up and out of the way. Okay, so we're gonna slowly, oh, we gotta hang this over the edge a bit more. Get this in, and then we're gonna kind of like try and work it so that this can slide under. Okay, if you want, you can use like this tool to help lift that up. Okay, I'll lift this up a little bit and then get that screen in place. All right, get that in. Okay, so get the screen all lined up and in place. Okay, next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and put one screw on each side. I like to put the ones closest to the hinge mechanism, the part that turns. So we're gonna go all the way on the inside one here. And then we're gonna get this one as well. Okay. All right, now what we're gonna do, we're gonna carefully close this. All right, so there's a little foam thing here, so I'm gonna remove this because just that thickness of foam could be enough to damage the computer or damage the screen when you close it. So we're gonna remove that, okay? And then we're gonna slowly, carefully close this, very gently. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and undo these screws a little bit, just loosen it. And you wanna align, there's a gap here. I don't know if it'll show up, but you wanna kind of try and align the gap because it does have a little wiggle room. I don't know if you can see that, but it wiggles a bit. And then you also wanna make sure it's flush back here if you can. So I like to try and make sure that that back plate here is flush. Okay. And then we're gonna kind of center this over. All right, and then we can go ahead and tighten that down. So tighten that down and tighten this down. And then you kind of want to go around and make sure that it seems like it's in that everything is lined up right. Okay, looks good. Now we're going to get the other 3 hinge screws back in, or the other 4 hinge screws back in, sorry. Again, the magnetic thing of this sucks. As you can see, the screws are just falling off the screwdriver, so you do want to hold it well onto the screwdriver and then tighten that into place. Okay, just like this. Tighten that into place. Good. Put that in. Perfect. And tighten this last one in. Good. All right. Next, we're gonna flip this back over. We need to get that tiny screw back in. Again, we did change it to a T3 screw, sorry. And again, that screw that I picked, it also works with, oops, why did I put that there? And that screw that I picked also, it came from like a hinge cover of older MacBook, which basically is like one of these things, but plastic on the 2017 models. Okay, so we're gonna get that little screw. I'm gonna line this piece up. It's gonna be difficult for me to hold this and get it in right, but let's see. Okay, so we're gonna get that. Try and get that screw in there. Okay, line this up. Yeah, this thing is a little bit tricky to get back in. I might need to use some tweezers here. Okay, let me try holding it with the tweezers. This little cable is kind of tricky. No, it's not going to work well. Come on, get back in place. Yeah, this is a pain in the butt. Of course, Apple would make something like this. Okay. Okay, there we go. Make sure it lines up with that. I'm gonna try and like hold it. Oops, sorry, I'm holding it in place as I kind of screw that down. Sorry, I know my hand's in the way. But there we go. Tighten that down, perfect. You can stick this back down and you can go ahead and push the adhesive back down. Okay, be careful. Don't use anything sharp to kind of damage that little cable. All right, there we go. Next, so we had this here and it curves around like that. So let's zoom out here. Oops, sorry, were you not able to see? So we have that and it curves around like this. And then this clicks in there. But let's go ahead and get the speakers back in first. So let's zoom out. Okay, so simple, straightforward. Drop this in. Okay, make sure the antenna lines up. The way you know it lines up is if you're kind of like sliding your finger around on top, it'll kind of like stay in place. Then you can go ahead and click it down. Okay, don't forget to click down the speaker cable connection here. Okay, it's a little tricky, it's very wobbly. Come on. There we go. Alright, make sure that's in. Okay, we're going to do the other speaker over here with the wireless antenna. Make sure that's lined up. Okay, and this one you might have to like kind of wiggle it a little back as well. Good, click that in. Alright, that's good. And then we're going to go ahead and get this lined up. Click that down. Alright, so now let's go ahead and get all those screws back in. We can go ahead and put all the T5 or Torx 5 screws back in first. So I'm going to switch to the T5. And also, some of them aren't T5, so one of them I think was a T4, so don't forget that. Oops, why did I put that there? That one goes out here. Oops, sorry. Let me zoom out. You guys can't even see everything. There we go. So we'll get this screw in first. Get the second one. Get this screw in. Okay, get the third one. And I think this was the T4 because it's having a hard time. So let's switch over T4. Okay, switch back over to the T5. You do want to check your own because Apple might be switching it around and it won't be the same for everyone. Maybe yours are all T5. So you want to see if the screw fits well, or if the screwdriver fits well, then just use it. That's how you know. You don't need to know like what size I'm using. If it fits well for you, that's what you want to use. Okay, and you want to make sure the screws don't like wobble around in there while you're like trying to screw it down. So yeah, all right, one more here. All right, so we got all of those in. Next thing, let me move this stuff out of the way. So that and that. All right, so let's see. We had this, it rotates over this way, and you want to click these in. So we can actually put this in first, those two screws. So those are the T3, I believe. Okay, Torx 3 screwdriver. Flip that over. Get that lined up. Okay. And make sure it's lined up. Get that screw in. I'm loosely fitting it first, okay, because I want to make sure I can push those connections, the connectors down. So we're just going to loosely fit these screws. Okay, so now we got to get this, make sure it lines up, push that into place. Same thing with this one. Yeah, see, this isn't going to go in right. So I think we might actually have to loosen these screws to lift that up. And they actually put different screws here. They put the ones that it came with. They put J0 screws, I believe. J or PH0, whatever you want to use. Okay. I'm going to leave this metal plate though, because, okay, we'll remove or release these screws to loosen it. And then we can hopefully move this in and plug that. Come on. There you go. Okay. And we're going to leave those screws in because if something's wrong with the screen and we need to return it, we're going to return it with what they sent it with. All right. So these two screws just hold that this metal plate onto that. Okay. So make sure these connections are staying in place. Uh-oh. Is this one coming out? These connectors are kind of annoying. Okay, make sure those are good. Then again, switch back. We're going to use the T3, Torx 3. Tighten these down. All right, let's get this little plate back on top of that to make sure these connections stay in. Oh, don't forget this one. Okay, I think that already pushed itself in place for the most part. This connection lines up and then it's good. All right, so I'll get these back in. Again, using the T3 or Torx 3 screwdriver. Loosely fit that first, the two outer ones. And then get this one in. Okay, now that we got the two outer ones in, we can go ahead and tighten them down. Get the middle one that's underneath this piece. Get that in. Oops. When they're annoying stuff. Okay, there we go. Tighten that down. Good. Make sure they're all good. Alright. Then we'll just put this adhesive thing back on top. Smush it back down. Okay. Hopefully all the cables are in well and aren't going to come out. We can go ahead and put these back in as well. Make sure that this is pushed down and this goes in there. Okay, so we'll get this, and you just kind of got to push that in. There we go. Goes in really easily. Okay. Using the T3, get that screw back in. Come on, go back in there. Did I? Huh. Wait a minute, what is going on here? That's weird. Okay, let's pull this thing back up. Pull this back out. One thing I noticed, the screw hole for this doesn't line up right. You see that? You see where this hole is here? It's off centered, but the hole here is like centered. So that's another thing to keep in mind. We're probably not going to be able to put that screw back, which is going to be annoying. You can see here, look, it doesn't line up. That sucks. Alright, let's get this one in. Let's see if this one lines up. So it's a lot easier to put these in than it is to take them out. And this one lines up, so I can put this one in. I don't know what's going on with that. I might have to see about getting a replacement screen and then do this again. Because yeah, it's missing that hole there. I don't know if I can drill a hole in it. I don't think I have a a drill bit that's that tiny. So yeah, that's not gonna happen. If I drill that, I don't think that's gonna work. Should I try? Let me try that. Give me a second, I'll be back. Oops. Oops, sorry about that. Alright, I'm back. And I got a drill bit. Let's see if we can somehow drill. Let's see. Alright, let's pull this up and see what it looks like. One of my customers was messaging me. I want to see where the hole lines up now. So I gotta pull this guy out. It's working. It's letting me drill a hole there. So I'll try it. Give me a second. I think I have a customer outside messaging me. I'll be back in a bit. Alright, I'm back. So let's go ahead and see if we can drill a little more, and then we'll see. But this drill bit is too big, so it's definitely not going to fit the screw, but we'll see if we can get it to kind of just go in there a little bit. I don't know if it's even drilling through. No, I think it just marked it. It's not really drilling. Let me change it to the faster mode. Let's take this out and look if anything happened. Alright, let's see here. Pull this up, wiggle and pull this out. Come on, get back out. It came out and then okay. I keep accidentally pushing it back in. There we go. I mean, it's drilling a hole, but it's not gonna fit the screw. So I don't know what to do with that, what to make of that, because yeah, I'm gonna have to see, since this isn't gonna fit the screw, then I'm gonna have to see about getting a replacement and doing it again probably. So let's drill into it a little bit just to see if we can get this, get that out. Gotta make sure this metal flakes don't end up in the computer. Okay, well, it is what it is. We'll get this back in there. Okay, and then I'll let the customer know. We'll probably have to see about getting another screen. For now, the magnet's pulling all those little pieces. Let me clean up my screwdriver a little bit. Okay, let's see if this will at least sit in there so we don't lose that screw. Yeah, it'll sit in there. Okay, I'm gonna put a piece of tape over it temporarily until we get the right thing. Okay. Alright, and just need a small piece of tape there. We're just going to put that over that to keep the screw from going somewhere. Okay. All right, so what do we got next? Let's get all these little covers back on. Did I miss one? We have the tiny one there. We have the long one that I did, that one, and that one. I think I missed a metal plate somewhere. I might have to rewatch my video. I have an extra, oh wait, that's for the battery. Okay, never mind, I didn't miss one. Okay, so first we're gonna do this one here. And this is using the T3 or Torx 3 screwdriver. Line up the screw holes. I like to twist it backwards to hear it click into place and then put it in. And I also loosely fit it the first time because there's 2 screws. So I'm gonna make sure both screws go. There we go. Then we got the next one here. This one doesn't have the little metal pieces that stick down, but it has this foamy pad. All right, and that's to go over the wireless antennas to help keep them pushed down. Okay. All right, there we go. Oh, this side has the full circle. Okay, tighten that down. Perfect. And then the last speaker connection here. Oops, sorry, hopefully I was in view. And this one has the little hanging hooks. Okay, here we go. Alright, all that we have left is the battery connector, battery screws, and the bottom plate. So battery connector right here, get that lined up, push that down. Okay. Get this piece in, it has the little hooks, make sure you make the hooks face the right direction. Okay. That screw in, oops. Okay, just loosely fit it. And this thing is actually moving around, so we need to actually undo it. Okay, that's probably okay. And we got this one. Alright, tighten that down. Alright, we should be able to test this now, so let's go ahead and plug it in. It does require you to plug it in to turn it on, so let's go ahead and plug it in. The customer didn't have their charger, and I don't have this type of charger, so I'm going to be using a USB-C. It should work with the regular MacBook USB-C charger as well. So we'll plug this in, and check, push the button, and there we go, it's turning on. So So there we go. We got the screen. Oh, it has little bubbles from the air. From the air of that little cover. But it's working. Okay, I'm going to close it and see if the screen goes off. And it does. Open it and it goes on. I don't know if you can see. It's still on. Oh, there we go. It's off. And then open it and it's on. So we should be good to go. I'm going to close this up. All right, let's unplug this. All right, next we gotta get the bottom cover back on. So same thing, you have to slide it into place. So what you do, you get the back where the hinges are first, line up these side edges here, okay? And then what I do is I'll work on one side first, slide that up, okay? Then holding down this, slide this up, okay? If it gets caught, we might have to readjust it. Feels like it's getting caught and not wanting to go. So let's see here. Is it not lined up right? Maybe pull this one down a little bit. Okay, let's do it again. So you gotta make sure all of these go down at the same time. Very annoying. I hate this thing that Apple does. Let's try doing this side first, see if it makes any difference. Okay. Nope, it just pulled itself out. Okay, let me rotate it this way and see if I can pull it towards myself to make it a little bit easier. Okay. There we go. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I had to pull the whole thing at the same time, and that worked. Then we can click all of this into place. All right, click that into place. And then we just got to get those 4 screws back in and we should be good to go. All right, switch back over to the P5 or Pentalobe 1.2. Okay, and then get all those screws back in and we should be good to go. Let's see, P5, here we go. And let's get these screws back in. And it's always a good idea to restart the computer as well. Right, this wasn't quite lining up right, so I used these little feet to slide it over a little bit, and now it's all completely aligned. All right, we'll get these screws back in. Again, the one with less smooth section goes towards the front opening part of the MacBook, and then the part with the bigger smooth part goes towards the back where the hinges are. All right, so make sure they're good. Last few screws in. And that's pretty much it. Again, hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. If you can't help out that way, again, it would help a lot if you could watch a few of my other videos and then like and comment on those as well, because that's what the algorithm likes to see. But other than that, oh, also if yours has like this little blue, there's a little blue mark there, I'm going to use a little isopropyl rubbing alcohol on a piece of paper towel and just wipe that off, just like that. Alright, and there we go. If it has that adhesive there, you can wipe that off as well. Alright, you can see the color matches, and we're good to go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Alright, let's drop this. Bye.